Hey, it's your girl, Madam Money, aka Trap, coming through with another edition of Salt in the Game. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's get it. Now, a whole bunch of crazy shit done happened this week. You feel me? I want to just kick this show off by telling Gillie the Kid, fuck you. But here is why I'm saying this.
Gillie, you always giving up game. Why you don't get no game on Black Lives Matter? Because I don't get into that shit, nigga. All lives matter, nigga. I don't give a fuck if you white, black, blue, purple, brown, tangerine. Nigga, all lives matter. Y'all want a nigga to go out there head first, tell these motherfucking white people Black Lives Matter. But my motherfucking black life didn't matter to the nigga that tried to execute me, to the nigga that shot me in my motherfucking wrist, stomach, and my foot, the nigga that tried to have my mama singing It's So Hard to Say Goodbye. My black life didn't matter to that nigga. All the niggas I know been shot by niggas. And what about my nieces and nephews who half black and half white? Only 50% of their lives matter, nigga. And I understand the whole Black Lives Movement. We've been oppressed. We've been done wrong. Nigga, we do wrong to each other, nigga. We do more fucked up shit to each other than anything.
Now, I ain't gonna hold you. What do you expect coming from somebody who just did a partnership with one of the most, seemingly racist, undercut brands in Barstool that's around? We already seen what he did to one of his showmates in the transition to being on this new platform. Now you're sitting out here trying to explain to people who asked you about Black Lives Matter what's your true feels about it. If that's your true feels about it, you need to just shut the fuck up and sit on the sideline. You feel me? We already know. Like, you ain't even no space or no time to be valid in trying to cut across a movement that's going on right now. Now, since you brought up the black on black violence that makes you not want to stand behind Black Lives Matter, you need to fucking really dig deep and look in the mirror at your fucking self. You have been no help into that type of behavior. Now, it's really crazy because I really had a lot of respect for Gillie the Kid, even though on some real shit, he has been giving me a couple of off-centered vibes for a long time now. He's very effeminate sometimes for me. Also, too, he ain't really was the breadwinner in his relationship that he is in. He actually came across and found a winner in his wife or whatever have you. We all know that situation over there. He's somebody who says that he lets his woman have, side nigga Sundays. He be sitting in the crib all tense and all tight. You need to motherfucking get you some burn on those days off that she's giving you, because there's no reason for you to come out here and be speaking like that on Black Lives Matter. I don't know who the fuck asked you, why would anybody ask you what you think about Black Lives Matter? But you feel me? If that's your sentiment right now, it's not the time for you to be saying no bullshit like that. Like, leave that shit alone. Anything to get some attention. That's why you brung 6ix9ine to Philly and gave him a key to your city when he was popping. Anything for attention. Anything for fucking attention. That's why Beanie Siegel punched their fucking lights out over All-Star Weekend. But we're not going to get into all of that when it was down in Philly. All right, another thing that have been bothering me a lot is crazy as hell. I already got my problem with YG and his style of dress, how he dresses. He's somebody who came into the game. He had a strong release into the game. He made a splash for himself, made a name for himself. Ever since then, he's been on a steady decline. He is somebody, too, that music has not been being received by everybody. Nobody really cares about what he's bringing to the table right now musically. So he does all these little tricks of the trade, trying to make sure that he stays relevant in the game. One of which is calling out 6ix9ine on his tours and stuff like that. That's the only media attention he has been getting. But he released a single this week called Swag, using Colin Kaepernick's image, to try to boost up this thing. Now, on first glance of just seeing the single artwork, I was really like disappointed. Like, it's ways to show that you're aligned and that you're with the movement without going so far as to try to emulate how somebody physically looks. Now, he had on a San Fran color 49 color uniform on with a afro wig. All of that shit is unnecessary. He's kneeling. He's doing the same thing that Colin Kaepernick did. But it's listening to the track that makes me feel like, dog, you shouldn't be touching none of this shit. Let's listen to that real quick.
I gotta let they mad, ay. Baby say I look like dad, ay. I don't really do much really. I just pull up with a whole lot of swag, ay. Hit it from the front and the back. She suck me out, eat it, we tip for tag. 12 M's for 2 hours and 12 months. I'm ready to do the math.
Now you see, like when you take something like that, and especially you forming outside your lane, this sounds like a real trap track to me. It sonically sounds like a trap track with your little West Coast feels or whatever the fuck you bringing on this track to the track. You should not have done that. You do not need to sit here and be disrespecting or meddling the lines of Colin Kaepernick's image. He's at such a powerful place right now where you see that the movement he started is actually being taken seriously, and we're demanding our respect about it. Why would you come out in the fucking world and try to do some shit like this? This shit is really disturbing and disgusting. Focus on the music. Get back right with the producers that you need to be working with. You feel me? And kick it up a notch. Like, you got your own thing about you, your own type of swag about you. Use that. Don't be doing that. That shit just real corny. Corny ass nigga syndrome number 101. Crazy. It's stupid. Okay, all right. Moving into a couple of other singles that came out this week. Kid Cudi and Eminem dropped a single, The Adventures of Mood Man and Slim Shady. Now, all right. Kid Cudi has somebody who he put out work recently. You know, did have the project with Kanye that came out. Everybody that, you know, I don't know, I didn't personally like it, but a lot of people seem to like it. See ghosts or whatever have you. This right here, I was really surprised to see Eminem and Cudi on the same track together. The track is kind of long, but it is entertaining and holds you. There's no dry spots in this. I want to say that Kid Cudi explains it best what happened on this track, talking to Lil Wayne on the Tucci radio show. Let's listen to what Kid Cudi has to say.
And man, I got him on the phone. I had to tell him, I was like, yo, bro, like, you fucking destroyed this shit.
I mean, I already know.
It was like, you know, because I was nervous, because I was like, man, like, I'm like, fucking gonna get Eminem on my song. He gonna body me on my own shit, you know? Like, but I was like, fuck it, you know? Like, fuck it. I just want to join with him. Like,
that's what's up.
So.
Trust me, I know the feeling. I've sent a few to him and got the results back and just gotta go ahead and accept it, you know. So yeah, gotta say, you know,
he ain't never lied, because Eminem has such a more impact on this track with his verse. It is crazy as hell to me. He gave him the majority of this song, to be honest with you, where Eminem touched based on a lot of things. Some of the entendres that Eminem was saying about, you know, smoking, being drug free now and all of this stuff, and relating it to rappers, and saying that, you know, some rappers is on his worst rapper list of all time. I think he was talking to himself there. I don't know if it was Secret Shots or something like that. I'm still trying to dissect it a little bit, but this is a cool little track. And if it's any other, you know, variants as to what might be happening with Kid Cudi's music going forward, this is a nice little breach into there. I know that Kid Cudi had a couple other singles that came out this year and stuff, none of which really stuck to me like this. Will this song be in a heavy rotation or rotation? No. But if I heard it, would I skip it? No. So, you feel me? He did his thing on there. You know, shout out to Eminem for being vocal about what's going on in the communities across America right now, and, you know, standing up for a lot of the social matters that's going on too. I also do want to point out too, when Kid Cudi is talking about he went to rehab, and then recently right after that Bart talks about smoking the bud, like, I don't know, like, you need to really focus on what you're actually putting out there. But other than that, it's all good, it's all right, it's okay. Another single that dropped this week was Black Thought versus Everybody. Black Thought always coming across here whenever the fuck he want, doing whatever the fuck he want, and put out a dope track of him just spitting. You know, he never fails when he does this. His next album, Streams of Thought Volume 3, will be coming out the end of July 31st, I do believe. I cannot wait to hear what he really has to say about a lot of things going on. You know, he's very active in his community. He's going to speak on everything and anything, just like he did in this track. The beat production wise was, it was a little slowed down and a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what's the right word for it, but it's not one of these things where, I still be like, okay, let me listen to that Black Thought track over and over again. But Black Thought has one of those qualities where you're not really listening to him over and over again. One time is enough in most cases, but when he puts out projects, his projects going to have you burn. So if this is a sign into this project, Streams of Thought, Volume 3, you feel me? It's all good. Streams of Thought 1 and 2 is something that I do go back to. I do check for certain tracks off of that album and stuff like that. So, it'll be real good to see what's really going on here. All right. Now, I got a quick question, okay? Pop Smoke last week released his, posthumous album. I don't know how to pronounce it right. I always say postmortem, but that's not right. But he released his posthumous album, Aim for the Stars, Shoot for the Moon, last week. It's going to be number 1 on the charts with a debut of over 250 sales or streams or whatever, how they're doing it over there. And this week Juice WRLD put out his postmortem album called Legends Never Die. Now, this is what I really want to ask. Is it the first time in hip-hop history we have seen 2 artists come through on the charts, back-to-back number 1s that have passed away? Is this the first time in hip-hop we will see 2 artists that have passed away come through number 1 and number 2 on the charts? Because they're going to be fighting for these 2 spots for the next couple weeks. There's nothing else that's coming out that's going to, at least next week, that's going to hit that hard and be one of these chart climbing things like that. And I think both of them have a solid enough fan base that is, worldwide, that they're going to be teeter-tottering on the charts with being 1 and 2 between the 2 of them. But is this the first time in hip-hop we have seen 2 rappers fight for this spot in the afterlife? So that's just a quick question. If you have any comments or you have an answer, or if it's something I'm forgetting about concerning that, please drop it in the comments below. I will get back to you. I always do. I speak to everybody. Don't talk to me. All right. Well, last week a couple projects dropped. I didn't do a review on that. I decided to focus on Westside Gunn's project that dropped. Please make sure you check out that video when you have the time to. It's a lot of clips and stuff like that in there, just giving you a more in-depth feel as to what is going on that album. But last week a couple of projects dropped. I don't know where I want to start. You know what? I'm gonna start with G4 Jag's Keep Going. I also did a video called Who is G4 Jag, trying to give some highlight to this artist and his upcoming work. Salute to you, Jag. Thank you always. But here is the full project that I was referring to in that video, so you have a chance to listen to it for yourself and see how G4 Jag is really one of these artists that are, they're very, very solid. You will never be disappointed in hearing their work. And he has a versatility about him that he could fall back from and lean into whenever he likes. But this particular project is 8 tracks. This is his 3rd project this year. Let's be clear here. And it's just a real solid project, letting you know more about him. He's staying in his lane over there with the Trust Movement. Loyalty and Trust is this thing that he's on right now. Standout tracks on there for me: Where Have You Been, Mobbin', and Make a Plate. Now, some of these beats on this album is top tier production on this album as well. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you check the artists out. Make sure you support all the artists that you are into, support them properly. Also on that video made reference to Fleeigo's alter ego Fleeigo Delgado. Okay, I'll see if I'm saying it right. This is actually Fleeigo's 5th project to come out this year. He kicks the album off with explaining why he's dropping this project, and I do want you to hear this real quick so you can see how the album actually kicks off.
Pull an audible, you know what I'm saying, because we was working on Loyalty and Trust, the 2nd edition, but we wasn't sure if it was going to make this month. So basically I put this together, man, and this is some work I had, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to all the producers, shout out to every artist on here, you know what I'm saying. We got more work to go. This is alter ego, you know what I'm saying, Fleeigo Delgado. Tap in.
Yeah, what's happening though? Boy P Worthy.
West Side. Flee, what up? Back on my bully, smoking woolies, got the sawed off in the back seat. Fully in the hoodie, out in Harlem, what's goody? Get it shaking like an earthquake. Me and Spitter had the world crying off the last tape. Mass face, them the consequences, now it's yellow tape. Running laps, still in shape. Why these fuck niggas bake? I'm the real, no mistake. It's funky up on this side. Dom move riders, slapping blasts out the G-Ride.
I'm telling you, from that first beat banger on there, you do not get disappointed. It's a couple of features on here. G4 Jag is on here. El Camino is on here. It's another track on here called I Don't Give a Fuck Who's your favorite rapper. That shit is hard to me. 10 tracks long. This is a nice little work. Like Fleeigo, he's always just putting out so much work and letting you get into his world. He does not disappoint. He does not miss when he does this. So make sure that you check it out. All right. Now, another project that dropped, and you know, we're gonna switch a little lanes around here sometime and stuff like that. Lord Finesse dropped a project called Motown State of Mind, where he takes hits from the Motown era, you feel me, and he brings them up to date, brings them up to speed. But I do want to say on this album, he never goes too far out of range. When he's updating these tracks, he's not going so out the box. He's really setting the tone and making you into this such a cool hip hop mellow Motown vibe. He updated a couple tracks on there from Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, DeBarge, the group Switch, Eddie Kendricks. It's a short project. It's not too many tracks on there, but it is worth a listen on there. My favorite track on there happens to be the Marvin Gaye flip that he did. I Want You to Want Me Too. Let's listen to that real quick. Really dope stuff coming over there from Lord Finesse. I didn't know what to expect when I was listening to this project, but I was so happy that I did get a chance to get into it. So I want y'all to check it out too, because you know, when he comes through these other waves of hip hop that's cutting across, be aware that producers are out here putting out work. We're going to get into another album that does that in a couple minutes. But before I get into that, because this is still last week releases, I want to talk about, here we go, another producer, BuckWild's Fully Loaded project. Now, all right, man, this is a dope project. This has some heavy features on here. It's Raekwon is on here, Little Brother is on here, Rome Streets is on here, Fly Anakin, Rashid Chappelle is on this album. One of the artists that I'm sitting around really watching too, Mad Hatton, he is on this project as well. But there's a track from Chris Rivers, yes, Big Pun's son, Chris Rivers, on here called Green Paper with Eagles. Let's listen to that real quick. Whenever I hear Chris Rivers, I always get excited because this is somebody I don't understand why he was not pushed a little bit harder by, you know, Fat Joe. And I know we've had a couple conversations about this, and at what point in time do you take in accountability for yourself what's going on? But I really don't understand why Chris Rivers had really get that buzz or have that notoriety like he should, or you know, he should be a little bit more mainstream when it comes down to these things, because out of all the sons of rappers, Chris Rivers is like, he's the hardest out. He's the hardest out. He's really can spit. And I really wish that people take a little bit more time and, you know, support him and, you know, push him. Or, you know, if you're around him, push him to just put out project after project after project after project, because it's valid. Like, his bars are so valid. So salute to BuckWild and his album Fully Loaded. Every album's tracks description from title and stuff will be in there. Everybody's link will be in the description below, so make sure you check it out and make sure that you let me know how you feel about these projects. All right, so I only really got a chance to listen to 2 projects this week. I ain't gonna front to you. If anything else come across my radar, I will let you know, but I only got a chance to listen to 2 projects this week, one of which is like the super producer album dinner party that has Robert Glasper, Terrance Martin, Kamasi Washington, and Knife Wonder. Now, this is a dope project because each one of these producers are bringing what they do best to the table here, and it's merging successfully. This is a dope little vibe. It's not a long project at all, but these producers on here are some of the hardest working in the game. I told you at the beginning of the year about Live from Crenshaw by Terrance Martin. Since then, he has put out 2 other projects. One is called Synchronize, and the other is called Tell Me I'm Disco. All right, and those are the 2 projects that he's put out this year. Make sure you check that out. Robert Glasper is somebody who always he is definitely on my radar now. He dropped a project in this year. It was called The Photograph. He also puts out instrumental records of his records too. He's one of these artists that I tell newcomers in the game and new spitters in the game and stuff like that you can look through his discography and pull out some real dope beats to flip around, play around with, or just give yourself some lyrical exercise. He always is doing things like that. But it's crazy because when we have these projects like that, since I am a hip-hop historian, once we start merging sounds and things like this and we bring in jazz into hip-hop, especially when it comes down to super producers, as soon as I saw this project, I thought immediately of the 1994 release of Buckshot La Fatigue, you feel me, which was Brandon, is it Brandon Marcellus? It was Bradford Marcellus, all right, DJ Premier, and the producer Blackheart, and they dropped this project, and you know, it was a nice little vibe. It's something that people not really aware of or used to, that you had to like be there and around that time period and stuff like that. But it's an album that I always felt merged the 2 things properly. So when everybody be talking about DJ Premier and his beats and his primo beats, but y'all don't know about this album here, it really, really worries me that y'all don't really do y'all homework and don't know about Buckshot La Fanique. But this album, Dinner Party, like I said, it's a nice little vibe. The 2 tracks I like on there, Love You Bad and The Mighty Tree, even though the whole thing is rockable out. Like, I didn't skip it or anything like that. I listened to it twice, I do believe, since it did drop. And you know what I mean? It's just one of those sounds that'll get you to wind down, and you'll be able to just, you know, process some things. Everything don't have to be this loud, rah, 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 rah type of situation going on. So, salute to all of them, and I hope y'all do enjoy Dinner Party when you do get around listening to it. All right. Now, the next album I'm about to review, I do just straight off the rip, I have to just clap my hands for Shady Noir, As God Intended. And it's crazy because she had been dropping a lot of singles off of this album. I was like sneak listening. I wasn't listening to the whole singles because I wanted this album to be real fresh to me. I didn't want to go there with this. I wanted to take it in its entirety. I didn't want to skip a track. Oh, I already heard that because the single dropped or whatever. You know, she dropped 4 fire singles off of this. I was listening to like little snippets of it. I never listened to a whole track, just to let you know that this album is executively produced by Apollo Brown, who is a standout producer in his own respect. He only works with the best. So I knew that he was going to bring out the best of her on this album, and this being her debut album, I knew she was not going to disappoint us at all with anything that was going on here. Now, we know she released Juno earlier this year. That was really, you know, it was a mix. It was like a mixtape to me. It was so many people on a project and stuff like that. Even though she always stands out in whatever track or whatever thing that she does do, you know, it wasn't this full scope into her life like this As God Intended was. Now, you know, I have always been very critical of Shady Noir's flow. You feel me? And this has stemmed from having a couple of conversations with people and her comparison to, you know, the leader over there at Trust 38 and how they tend to sound similar at sometimes. And that had caused me to actually call out her pen. All right. Now, this album right here shut me all the way the fuck up. Let me just say that right now. I could tell that she's refined her flow. She's got into her own lane in a lot of these situations. And as somebody who was extra critical of her flow, I do want to say that you will not hear any of these type of instances coming from me after you drop this body of work. Shady Noir, salute to you and the work that you have been putting in over there. I've been steadily watching because you're one of these artists in the game that I truly do want to win because your perspectives and your voice is really needed out here. You feel me? The regular girl from around the way that just got these bars, that type of vibe is always needed. Now, like I said, she perfected her flows. Couple standout tracks on here. Hustle Don't Give, Freedom, Blood is Thicker. She is really letting you know what is going on here. Another thing I do like that she incorporated a female perspective storytelling track. That's something that we don't really get in hip hop when it comes down to female rappers. Let me just be clear here. So she's giving you all the steps on this debut album so that when you go back and say, you know, this is a real standalone body of work. Look how much she's giving you here. She's giving you you feel me, street inferences. She's giving you storytelling. She's giving you bars, letting you know that she is on a different level mentally than a lot of things that's running around or maybe out now. I don't really want to compare her to other female artists in this lane because I don't like them, to be honest with you. I see so much potential in Shady Noir. It is crazy. Now, you know, I'm always the one that always calling up for the amp. Let's get party, because everybody gets down and gets right in hip hop. It's not just one monotone thing that's going on here, but the way that she presented herself on this album is really, really crazy to me. She has such a long career ahead of her in the game. Like, she is fresh to us and she's producing and putting out these bodies of work right now. It is crazy. That track with the storytelling perspective is called 12 Hours, and I really did appreciate that because you really don't get a chance to hear a female just telling you about their day, just going out, just having friends, they this, they that, and this is what happened, this is the result of that. You know, I also think that Shady Noir she needs to keep up this type of formula going on. Like, she needs to keep up this formula of working with the best producers that's in her lane, in her reach, working with the best producers so that you can show these people out here that you're not for games, not for play, not for none of this. I like executive produced albums when it comes down to certain artists. We've seen that, you know, in the artists like Freddie Gibbs, that type of situation work. I think Shady Noir, if she continues that up, she will be able to actually be very, very impactful in the game and keep producing body of work after body of work. Now, since this is her second project this year, and I know that, you know, everybody at Trust is over there working very hard. It's going to be a numerous amounts of tracks coming out over there. I don't expect to see like another full-length project from her this year, just a bunch of features and stuff like that back in her cohorts over there. But she should be immediately thinking about the next album, who is going to be the producer on this, and what's going on. Now, I also want to say, because 38 produces a lot of tracks for the people over there at Trust, it is good to see them off of his production. Not to discredit his production or anything like that, because as a producer, his work stands alone too. But it's good to see a number of these artists where we've only seen them over 38 production. Now we see them over, you know, other producers and stuff like that. So, you know, branch out, get out there, get your voice heard. One of my favorite tracks on this album is Crazy. It's a flip on AZ's Life's a Bitch verse. It's called Money Orientated. And Apollo Brown, he does a good job trying to bring this idea from one of the most like known tracks in hip-hop and give it like a little bit of refreshness for Shady Noir on this album. So this album is crazy, but this track is a real introspective track. This track is really introspective about herself, where she's at, and what really motivates her outside of money. That is called Money Orientated, but that is not really how she's coming across on there. So let me let you listen to that real quick. Such a dope body of work coming from Shay. You feel me? Salute to you. Keep up the good work. It is always good to see somebody with their own style and their own confidence just remaining the same in the game. You feel me? I really feel like when it comes down to Shay, she just has such a long way to go. We're gonna be super excited from everything that we see from her from here on out. But you feel me? Short weeks are gone here. I got things to do. I'm about to get out of here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do have a couple other things in the works, so make sure you turn my notifications on so you know what I drop, because you never know what I'm gonna come across here with. You can follow me on Twitter at Madamoney Says. That's MADAMMONEYSAYS. You feel me? For all hip hop discussions, everything current in hip hop. And you feel me, just a real deal coming off over there. So if that's the type of thing that you into and you really live, die, breathe hip hop and stuff like that, make sure you join me on social media so we could get into a whole bunch of different topics that we might not really cover here on this show. But you feel me, another one and done. I definitely will be seeing you guys around. I do want to ask a quick question too. It is a couple of projects that are scheduled to be released between now and the end of summer. I do want to hear, like, what projects are you most anticipating coming out? Like we said, Black Thought has an album coming out. Westside Gunn alluded to the fact, you know, Who Made the Sun Shine will be coming out in August. Is there any other projects that you really like or are anticipating to hear before summer's close out? Let us know. All right.